I love doing the road, man. Like it's the best. Like you go crazy every couple weeks, but it's.
Do you think you'll just do it like forever?
I don't know. I mean, that's my mom is like, please get off the road.
Stop,
She's I remember when I was like 24 going hard on the road. She was like, think if this is the life you want. And you know what? Sometimes your mom is right. I was like, what are you talking about, Mom?
I don't know how you
but
guys
I'm like,
do
fuck, it does take a toll on the body. I'm like, sure, that's not how you get your neck better, by just flying every week and connect flights and stress and cars not showing up.
Like a steady paycheck?
A steady paycheck?
In your life?
I was like, I would do like part-time shit, but it was never like a full-time thing.
Right,
no.
because like you're, I mean, you guys have the potential to make however much you can by I'll take more spots, and then if you get big, like it just keeps going.
I can't say no.
Yeah, I also feel like a lot of you guys are just like, well, to me,
so I'm out every week. I just can't say no. It's hard. Like if I don't know when it's gonna go away.
I also feel like if I had a good routine that I knew was like I could do it easily, and I was like had an offer, and like I could just sit at home tonight, or just go make another, $5 grand, 10 grand, whatever you're making now. It's
crazy. Yeah, it's crazy. I can't turn shit down. So I'll work like every week, and then every once in a while you're like, every once in a while you'll talk to people. I met on Neil Brennan at the Comedy Store in LA, and he's like, you're on the road every week. Like, how do you do that? I was like, I just never feel good. What do you mean? What do you mean, how do I do it?
Well, it's very simple. I power through it with blues and depression. Like, I
plan it perfectly though. I'm really good at the coffee to alcohol transition. Mm-hmm. I'll get like the coffee going through the first show like 7 p.m. and then like middle show I'm like, I'll have one whiskey. End of the show of another. I'm like had planned buzzes. Yeah. I don't waste a buzz.
You're like Maradona when he used to get his breaks. he had scheduled breaks to just get fucked.
I'm a lot like Maradona. We're very similar. But every once in a while you're like, I talk to comics who they can't. They don't tour when they don't have new stuff. Like I've talked to comics who are like, I need an hour before I go back on the road. I need to always do it just so I can't write a new hour in the city. I need to go to
experience shit and stuff like that. Yeah,
experience shit, but also just have an hour every night because you don't get that in the city. I'll do an hour here sometimes, but if I'm on the road, I'll do an hour twice a night sometimes. So that will make you right. Yeah, I love.
How many days a week?
I'll do like 5 of those a week, usually sometimes 6, and then I'll do like sometimes an hour in the city. But like I like it. I like doing the long sets.
Where like. It's got to stop eventually, though, no?
I mean, I don't know. I look at guys like Segura. I'm like, he's still going strong.
But don't you feel like Tom is doing this? I feel like Tom is going to stop for like a decent amount of time after this.
You got to ask him. I don't know. Yeah. He seems like he's got a healthy routine, too. He lost all that weight. He's got a trainer with him on the road.
He's doing Rich very well. He's like...
But also in his new hour, he talks about how he's been... really hitting it hard lately. He's like, I'm trying to drink more. He's like, I hang out with Bert all the time. Like, I'm trying to drink a lot more these days.
He's got the trainer with him at all times. Sounds like he eats healthy and it's all nice new clothes, new cars, and I feel like he just knows that like right now, like you said, it's like now's the time to get it. I mean, it's like thousands of tour dates. It seems like it's insanity.
It's hard to ever say no to the work when it's there because there are people who are like, you just said a special come out. I'm like, well, that's kind of when you want to get a new special, right? And then in the winter, you're like, well, you got to go to bigger venues. So,
well, that is, I think, the most unhealthy part about our worlds overlap a little bit, but not quite as much. But it's like you sell out a show, you put a theater on sale, right? And you're like, I want to like sell this one out, right? Yeah. And you do. And it happens to go fast, and you add a second show, and then you're fretting that the second show didn't sell out, when originally all you wanted to do was sell out the first one.
Know.
So you're never satisfied, which I guess is a good thing, but also I think an unhealthy thing.
I was just talking to Chris D about this.
Like, just be happy that that video did well, and you don't need to make a second one right away, or that show sold out, and you don't need to add 3.
Exactly. We don't. We always want more, and that's the nature of these shows and social media. I mean, you post something, and you're just like, oh, this didn't get as many likes as I'm like, I got to just disengage and not look. I'll post it and go away. Right. And then, of course, every once in a while you look back and you're like, oh, come on. Like that's it. But, you got to disengage a little bit from the social media and the shows. And
I know Chris, he like has people do his social media now. Are you on your social media?
I'm on it. Yeah. I got to get someone to do it. I don't like doing it. The problem is I forget all my passwords, so I don't know how to do that.
You can't get someone to do it for you.
I could
probably tell them to log in.
I probably could.
Do you think that The difference is like our job is the internet. Really?
Yeah.
They have a thing that they do that they use the internet to like promote, where like we just do the internet. But it's
Everything's just
also
for stand-
Which
becoming,
is less and less now.
Yeah,
But
that's
everything's
what I
for
mean. It's
stand
like
up with
there
us.
was-
'Cause I don't want to be. I would love to just like be an old school comic and do like you do one Carson spot and then
Yeah,
you're like,
you're
all
like
right, I go
set
on
for
tour.
life. Yeah.
I mean,
You
I
have to grind.
It's hilarious. You think about being a comic in the '80s. You could tour in the same hour for like 8 years.
Right.
Yeah.
I have to write a new one every 7 months.
Right, that's
and I'm like, I'm
insane.
fucking tired, dude.
Dude, yeah, I know when people say like that guy's been doing the same act for like a decade, it's like frowned upon, but it's like I don't know, man. Just
Oh, I did a
if
show
you can
in
do it,
Louisville.
do it. Fuck
I
it.
did 50 new minutes out of the gate, and then I was like, I can't think of another new one off the top of my head, so I did one old joke, and a guy in the crowd screamed
No
out the
way.
punchline.
Get the
Really?
fuck
And I
out
was
of here.
like, the one fucking, just the one old joke I did.
That's crazy.
And I'm like,
It's a badge of honor too, though. It's like you guys know all.
it
my
is, but I
shit.
felt like a fucking cheese dick.
Yeah,
Yeah.
That's
I was like,
fucking,
ugh.
that's so lame. I've
Yeah.
never once cared about that.
Yeah, and then he was like,
If
I'm a
I've ever
huge
seen
fan,
it,
and
I'm like,
coming.
okay, whatever.
He's in the front row. He goes, I'm a huge fan. I'm coming to the late show too. I'm like, sit him in the fucking back this time,
Yeah.
please.
Well, you're gonna know all the jokes then, dickhead.
Now he's screaming out the new punchlines. I'm like, come on. No, he was a fan. I mean, that's
Do
the thing.
you
is-
get that? Do you feel good? So we'll do like sometimes we'll do 2 shows, and like the second show will be like, who's here from the first show? And it'll be like a decent
chunk,
a decent
yeah.
chunk, and you're like, why did we ask that fucking question?
Yeah,
Because
now-
now in my own head about like
You're gonna hear the
repeating-
same fucking thing.
Yeah.
Oh, I remember doing this show. There was this room in Wilmington, North Carolina called the Dead Crow, and this guy was always like really nice to me. It was a small venue, but like you'd have to do the late show, and they couldn't sell the tickets, so they'd be like, "We're bringing people back," and I'd be like, "I'm doing the same show.
Yeah,
What
I
do you
don't
want me to
have
do?"
another- yeah.
I was a young comic, and he was just like, you'd have to do new shit. You just have to come up with new shit.